remember? You don't remember the Michael Franti and spearhead phenomenon that swept through the Midwest in the early aughts? Come on, man. He was at every.
Been a little preoccupied serving our country.
I think you
that.
were fighting. Yes, yes, that's correct. I was boogieing my woogie down at the festival scene during those times, and sure enough, if you were hitting up the festivals, like if you were going to summer camp or Summerfest or anything with summer in it, or maybe even Bonnaroo, right? Any of those good times, you were definitely you were there to see like Fish, Moe, Umphreys, maybe some formulation of the Grateful Dead with half the members, you know. But then also, before any of those major acts, you would always get a little Michael Franti and Spearhead on the side stage. No matter what, you were guaranteed a treat during the sunshine hours of Michael Franti and Spearhead. Yeah, man. And he's a very positive guy, very positive, upbeat music. And he would go up there and he would say, "How you feeling?" about every 2 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, he would always be very interested in how the crowd is feeling. And everyone would, you know, whoop and holler and, you know, respond back in a very positive manner. And then they'd continue jamming, and then he'd do some rapping. And then, you know, he would lean into the audience, how y'all feeling? And everyone would be like, "Yeah, we're feeling good, you know, right back at you, Michael." And that's kind of how the show would go.
I think they made one song that I know.
They hit the pop music level, like the radio. There was some radio stuff going on with the Michael Franti and the Spearhead. You know, he ended up doing some of his own solo stuff and doing kind of duets with famous ladies and maybe even fellas, possibly a lady fella here or there. I'm not too sure, but
I was literally going to say I never heard of these guys. I have 2 songs on my playlist.
Yeah, no, everybody knows the
Sound of Sunshine.
There you go.
And
See,
Say Hey.
See how positive our Sound of Sunshine. You can't get more positive.
Yeah, you're right. That's a very upbeat song. Good call.
This dude Michael Franti, he comes to Red Rocks every summer, and part of his whole thing is he does a show one night, but the day before, he hosts like a 2-hour-long yoga session on the rocks.
That's gay.
I know. I knew you would like that one, actually.
I immediately, I'm deleting his songs right now. And you gotta support that kind of...
So,
that's what's ruining America, Mr. Franti.
No, the guy's, he's a good dude, big supporter of, you know, people's civil rights around the world. He was a big anti-Bush guy back in the early aughts, and he was a big, you know, anti-war spokesperson dude, infused a lot of his lyrics with that kind of action. I remember seeing him interviewed on Democracy Now! Once or twice, so, you know, Amy Goodman is a fan, and you know how much I love Amy Goodman, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, either
I've heard him on there.
Yeah, he's dabbled. He's definitely dabbled.
Dabbled? All right.
He's a dabble, too.
Dabbler?
Yeah, he's a dabbler. Oh, well, here we are. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. We made it. Mike, how are you? How's the weekend? How's Chicago?
Chicago, going good. You know, I did my favorite thing to do on Saturdays. There's a scrapyard right next to a dispensary.
Ooh.
And it's like 3 blocks away from my favorite Mexican restaurant. So it's just the triple win.
Yeah,
you know
man.
I mean? You go there, you sell your brass, you take that money, you go get a little bit of weed, and then you go to go get yourself some burritos. You know,
like
you know where it is. It's right by JJ's factory.
Oh yeah, I know exactly where that is. Actually,
yeah,
it's kind of crazy. I could probably drive there from here.
Eyes closed.
Oh, that's funny. We also have our own Saturday weed gathering routine. We do about every 2 or 3 weeks whenever we kind of run low. You know, we go for the big stash grab, and because there's 2 of us, you can double up on the purchasing power, right? One person can get the ounce, the other person can kind of get all the you know, fluff stuff and the fun concentrates and what have you. And so we do a loop, and we go sort of into the city and stop at this place that it's connected to the grow, so you're getting from the source there.
Fresh.
It's awesome. And it's cheap.
Farm to table, if you will.
That's right, dude. Farm to table in the weed world, man. And it's cheap because there's very little transport going on, and it's good stuff. It's hard to find that kind of action in Colorado these days. Everything was outsourced to the major corporations. So when it comes to weed, it's like, do you want McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's? Right? That's kind of what it turned into. So every now and then you can find your own little privately owned burger shacks, if you will, and score yourself some homegrown. But we always go there, and then we kind of loop it. It's a bit of a drive because we're on the side streets, but we take some side streets down to this little Italian joint, and we get some subs and some bread and cookies, and it's a family-owned place, and it's our favorite thing to do on Saturdays, and we do it like once a month, I would say. I wish I could do it more. I should start smoking more weed. If I smoke more weed, then maybe I can increase the amount of times we do the trip.
No, buy less, and then you got to do it more often. That's what I do.
I think my idea is better. I'll be more high. I'll be smoking all the time. Right?
Yeah, but then you'll lose the job and you won't have any money to do the trip. That's the problem. I've gone down that road many a times.
Oh man, very, very true. But
that road always leads to your grandma's basement for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's where everyone's got to be careful now, man. COVID's back. I don't know if you've been catching this all over the news. I have no clips, luckily today. No Fauci. Fortunately for everyone, I'll spare you. But
that one's not working.
I'm seeing it everywhere, dude. People are getting back. They're excited. I think there's going to be lockdowns. I was catching in on a little Alex Jones last night or 2 nights ago, and he was getting confirmation from his inside sources that we are absolutely in for major lockdowns in the next few months.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't be scared because it's a virus that doesn't kill anybody. But we are such pussies. Did you see this guy in the cave?
We're doing it.
I gotta jump into it. This one has been bothering me now
Caveman?
for like 3 days.
Yeah, Caveman has been kind of an upsetting story, especially considering we're dedicating all these international sources to this jabroni in a cave who's got diarrhea.
He got diarrhea, dude, and he's fine.
2,000 people just perished overnight in an earthquake in Morocco. Let's continue dedicating international sources to this idiot in the cave.
And the news are reporting on it? Why?
All right,
who the fuck cares about this asshole in a cave?
We need a distraction of some sort, and the news has been light since Labor Day weekend, so we got to do it, right? Caveman, it's all over the news, baby.
This morning, an international effort underway to rescue an American explorer trapped more than 3,000 feet deep in a Turkish cave.
And this is a year after the earthquake in Turkey that killed a ton of people, if I'm not mistaken. They're not there to save those people.
I gotta tell you, the only reason this thing keeps popping up on my news feed is because for the last 3 months, I've looked at everything related to Turkey, just waiting to hear Turkey.
Turkey, yeah, they dropped it. Pretty soon it's back to Kiev. I'm telling you. We're going to be back to Kiev.
Turkey was never a thing. Never a thing.
I'm going to dig it up, man. I know it's out there. Either that or I got whatever Justin Bieber has going on. It's just hasn't hit my face yet. Right?
Bell's palsy? Yeah.
That's right.
You got it in the brain for sure.
All right. Well, this big mosquito did get me yesterday. I killed it, and I said, "Damn you, Bill Gates! Damn you!" He got me again, man. All right. There's a caveman. And he's stuck in Turkey, and we're gonna dedicate international resources to save this man. I'm excited for this.
Crews rappelling half a mile down to save 40-year-old Mark Dickey, a skilled New Jersey caver.
His name's Dickey.
I know, Dickey, come on!
Come on!
I can't take you seriously.
Have you got diarrhea? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Clips over.
My God.
We got the guy named Dickey who's got diarrhea. This is fantastic.
the Morja cave when he fell critically ill, suffering from stomach bleeding, semi-conscious for days. Rescuers bringing blood and life-saving medical supplies with them. Dickie emotional, thanking them.
The quick response of the Turkish government to get the medical supplies that I needed, in my opinion, saved my life.
Dickie, the chief rescuer on a New Jersey team, now being rescued himself by a team of more than 170 workers.
This is a very complex care rescue operation.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
The rescuers now prepare.
That's approximately how many people and resources they dedicated after the earthquake hit Turkey and Syria. It's interesting. Same guy, same team.
It's more people that have landed in Maui.
Oh man.
Well, what's that? We're waiting for boats? What are we waiting for? Oh, for Oprah to buy all the land. Okay.
Yeah, Oprah and The Rock, man. The Rock's gonna film his next movie there.
There's a lot of talk, man. Oprah, she might have done it.
You think Oprah pulled the trigger on the direct energy weapon?
Are you ready for a little controversy?
Dude, it just seems a little suspicious that Oprah Winfrey tends to buy some land or a house, and then the land that's next to it, that's not for sale, that she really wants, happens to burn down.
That's
and
right.
then she gets it. It happened in California, now it's happening in Maui.
Yeah, man. It happened here in Colorado. They burnt down some really nice areas, and then all of a sudden some billionaires came in and built some really nice properties.
It's
I
don't know.
It's smart.
Oprah Winfrey.
Doesn't it then make you think about the Great Fire of San Francisco and the Great Fire of Chicago and every city?
The cow?
I
think the cow was Oprah Winfrey.
Oh man, we're canceled.
Oprah was walking around Maui, accidentally kicked over a lantern. I don't know.
We can only say that because we're from Chicago and we grew up when Oprah was fat. We all remember that.
That's my whole thing too. Is like when people talk about Oprah. Oh no, not Oprah. What do you mean not Oprah? Name one good person from Chicago that wouldn't do that.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff about Oprah linking her to like allegedly child sex slavery rings and Epstein, and it's a weird picture of her and Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks has the classic black eye that all those weirdos get from when they take adrenochrome. It's like the side effect of adrenochrome, and they all love adrenochrome, man.
Dude, I've been going down like an 80s binge. I'm loving this writer's strike.
Me too. Dude, I watched Ronin last night.
Oh, no way. Dude,
one of the greatest car chase scenes.
I watched Midnight Run and Dragnet.
Oh man, Dragnet, dude, kind of really taps into the whole like secret society worship of like, you know, devils and all that good stuff, and slightly kind of Bohemian Grove action.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, with the whole pagan ritual.
Got the pagan ritual. They got the virgin sacrifice, and you know, by the way, Tom Hanks.
That's what I was thinking about, yeah.
Hey, man. There's something creepy about Tom Hanks. I've been railing on him for a while here on the show, and I'm gonna continue and potentially double down. I believe he's the next Jeffrey Epstein.
Who was Wilson, really?
Oh, man. Well, Tom Hanks knows a thing or two about living in caves. He did it for that movie, right? Wasn't he living in a cave a little bit for the... what was it? Lost on the Island? What was he?
What?
Island Man?
Yeah.
Wilson?
Wilson, yeah.
Survivor? Can't I remember?
Return to Sender?
FedEx? It was the FedEx movie. The whole movie was just it was a gigantic FedEx commercial.
The moral of the entire movie was even if the plane crashes, we will get that package to you 20 years later.
FedEx
after we rescue the man.
FedEx always delivers. That's the story.
Yeah, Castaway.
Castaway. Yeah, was that who directed that? Was that some Ron Howard BS or It probably was Steven Spielberg. No, it wasn't Spielberg.
Huh?
No Spielberg because there were no kids involved. Spielberg only does the movie if there's like a bunch of 8-year-old kids.
Fucking weirdo, dude. I swear to God. Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, Zemeckis. I think he did, he may have been the, one of the geniuses behind Back to the Future. I could be wrong. But I think he possibly involved. Either way, Castaway, all right.
I'll give it an all right.
I'll give it an all right. Either way, it takes place partially on an island, and there's moments in a cave, and we are talking about a super deep cave, and we're talking about a man trapped in the cave.
With diarrhea.
He's got diarrhea, and
he said he can't climb out.
We're dedicating 170 international rescue operators to save this man. Keep that in mind here.
Preparing for the treacherous journey back.
I'm up, I'm alert, I'm talking, but I'm not healed on the inside yet, so I'm going to need a lot of help to get out of here.
According to the rescue organization...
You fucking pussy.
Isn't that, when it comes to doing adventurous activities, you know, and exploring treacherous places, you could die, and if you are unable to return, you die. That's part of the adventure and being an adventurer, right?
So don't go if you're a pussy. And plus 170 people. Dude, I know a guy. He was one of my 4 drill sergeants. That's the only man you needed to send down there.
Yeah, we don't have a Rambo or, you know.
You send in a drill sergeant who goes up to him and says, are you breathing? And the minute the guy says, no, I can't. He goes, well, you're talking, so you're breathing, which means you're alive, which means you have it in you to get the fuck out of here. Then you leave him alone. Let him figure it out.
We should send in the carry the boat fella, David Ghibli. What's the guy's name?
Goggins.
David.
Yeah, Goggins would just carry him out like he was a boat.
I think we should send him in to just motivate the dude to get up off his ass and climb out of the cave.
Oh, that guy will climb out after 3 days of listening to David Goggins.
That's what I'm saying. You just get him in there to talk him out of there.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, 170 people? Come on. You just have
ridiculous.
170 of the wrong guys.
Also, again, and we could finish it if we want, they really are hammering that this is an explorer and, you know, he's an adventurer. And I just think, like, well, that's part of the gig. You know, when they sailed the seas not knowing whether, you know, they would find land, they expected to die, man. So,
Fran, you didn't read about the international rescue mission where 170 people went to go rescue Marco Polo?
That's
when
right.
Lewis and Clark, they were lost in the middle of the Americas. It was an international rescue mission.
That's right, man. Mexico, Canada, we were all involved. It was incredible.
It's great. It's heartwarming.
It was beautiful. This is why.
I love how they act like, oh, the Turkish government. Dude, the Turkish government just doesn't want an international issue. You know what I mean? They don't want an American dying on their soil. That's all.
Yes, so they are pulling out all stops. They are going to save this man, or at least pull.
They're practically bankrupt.
They're gonna. There's still people dying in the rubble from that earthquake. There's a new earthquake in Morocco. We're dedicating 0 resources. No, we got to get this dude with diarrhea out of the cave. It's incredible.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, man. That is like the risk you take. You go down this hole and you can't get yourself back up. Sorry, Charlie.
Let's take 169 of those 170, or 168. We'll leave 2 guys to help this fella, and then the rest of them can go to Lahaina and start rebuilding the community for these people. How about
that? No. Listen, man. Not even 2 people. Listen. Why is Mount Everest? Mount Everest is like the only one where you go up there, you can't make it back, they just leave you.
Yeah, Yellow Boots, or whatever. I think his name is.
There's a whole bunch of them.
There's a dude who marks the path.
Yeah, you just become a marker. A mile marker.
Yes. But especially in the cave.
But like everywhere else, the stupid submarine that went down, this guy in the cave that went down. Listen, you go on these missions and you can't come back. We ain't coming.
Good
Just
call.
like Mount Everest. You just became a mile marker. You know what we might do? You submarine that crashed, we might put the rubble into an arrow to point the next submarine towards the Titanic. Because you just became a mile marker on the bottom of the ocean.
You just are, this dude in the cave to me, it's like, man, you chose your fate by going into this cave. Like, you assumed the risk.
You knew you had irritable bowel or whatever. I mean, you can't handle some spicy food. What makes you think you can handle a 3,000-foot cave, pussy? Stay in America. Stay home.
He only brought 3 months worth of Pepto-Bismol. All right, he's having a having a major issue here, man.
You know what? Now that I think about it, it is fair that Turkey spends all this money. It was your fucking shitty food that put him there. I guarantee it.
That's right.
I've eaten at those fucking Middle Eastern restaurants, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
They're just
He
funneling.
ate that red shit they dip the bread in. It's spicy and good as hell. But man, for 3 days, your ass is bleeding. You are shitting blood, man.
I like the idea of they send these rescuers down and it takes them like 4 days to find the guy, and they find him, they got the cameras on him, he goes, "Nope, sorry, it was just bad curry. Yeah, it was red. I thought it was blood. I couldn't move. I was bent over. You don't understand. It was really bad, man. It was like red diarrhea. You would have been scared too."
They did warn me, don't eat from the street vendors. They did warn me.
Are there street vendors down in this cave? Like, how is he eating down there?
No, they sent him did you see the meals they're eating? Dude, the whole thing, it pissed me off so much. I was so infuriated. Because they're like, we're going to show you inside the cave. And it's like, they sent down, like, lights and everything. This guy's got, like, a little cooking area. I mean, this guy's living better than Mike the plumber who's in a basement sleeping on a couch. I mean, I'm telling you right now.
It's just so unreal to me that people...
And he's going out of the camera. He's like, you can see I'm standing. Yeah, you're standing. Stand yourself off the fucking cave. Get out of the fucking cave. Get the fuck out of the cave. You're okay. You're good enough to stand up and set up this fucking luxury, like, dude, you're talking to the cameras.
I know, he's
dude,
standing.
You have enough energy to get yourself out of the fucking cave. Get out of the cave.
Like, they make it seem like he should be bedridden or something. He's standing up. He's, like, moving around, dude.
Oh, dude, when I first read it, you read the headline, it's like, oh, American stuck 3,000 feet down. You're like, oh, what happened? He break his back? Did he break his leg? Nah, he had the poopies.
Nah, he shit himself. It's really embarrassing.
It's not an international emergency, man. This guy's got to be from Seattle. This guy's got Seattle written all over
I
it.
think when you texted me, I think I responded with something like, he must be from Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, I guarantee you one thing, he voted for Biden. This is, in Turkey, you can keep him, because we don't need these Biden. The less Biden voters, the better.
Guaranteed a dude, oh yeah, I said, he looks like every single 50-year-old dude in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, right.
With the Patagonia jacket, and yeah.
I can't believe I can't get out of here. I bought all this stuff at REI. I said,
you know what happened is this dude's a vegan. He's been eating soy bars for the last 10 years, and for the first time he ate some meat, and his body just completely went into, like, convulsions.
Oh, you think that's what it was?
He ran out of his soy bars.
Or he was eating soy for so long, and then he went down this cave, he went to climb up, and his body just laughed at him. You've been feeding me soy, you what do you think I'm going to do, climb 3,000 feet?
He's just like...
And his body just shit itself. Like, oh, yeah.
Bone and skin, dude.
Get the fuck out of here. Dude, let this guy die. This guy's not worth 170 people.
Oh, man. This is one of the good ones for sure. What a way...
let him die.
Yeah, well, I got more...
Nah, not let him die. Let him leave him to his own. Like, let him figure it out himself. Listen, if Batman could escape from that prison, he had to climb out that, this guy can do it too.
Yeah, maybe this guy could be our future Batman that we've needed in Gotham City or Chicago.
Which one? Oh, okay. We got like 4 of them.
Chicago is the Gotham City. There's no doubt about it. Do you want to finish the rest, or I feel like we've covered Caveman pretty much?
Yeah, it's just gonna
there.
piss me off more.
I got nothing left on that idiot. Well, this is airing tomorrow. Today it is 9/11 that this episode is airing.
Oh, wow, never forget.
Never forget. Well, Joe Biden's team is forgetting because he will be the first president in 20 years to not commemorate 9/11 in America. He'll be on his flight back from the G20 summit in Thailand. I think this is the cap, the icing of the cake, the shit cake of we truly do not care about this country. You all can go fuck yourselves.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, goodbye. That's
the World
it.
Economic Forum owns America.
It's over, man. This corporation is bought and sold, baby, and they don't even pretend anymore. Never forget, according to the Biden administration, long forgotten. That's it.
You know why they have to forget about it? Because you think 9/11, now you start to think about Afghanistan pullout.
That's right, dude.
You know? Like the closing chapter to the 9/11 saga is the disastrous withdrawal.
Wow.
Which
yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed the refresh on that, but it's been nothing but left-wing pundits coming on these shows and talking about how it might have been a little sloppy, but it was actually like one of the greatest things.
No, get out of here! There's no way. No way.
I swear to God.
No, I don't.
They keep
that.
talking about how like you can criticize the execution, but you can only criticize the execution so much. We need to look at the outcome.
Oh, the outcome? It's not looking too good if you're a female over in Afghanistan right now.
No, Frank, stupid. The outcome for America. It loosened up a whole bunch of money that we could spend on Ukraine.
That's right, which we're about to cut another billion-something dollar check, it sounds like, this week. Congratulations.
See, it's good for America because Afghanistan was giving the Biden family $0. And the Ukraine, they were giving the Biden family millions of dollars. So,
That's right.
It's good for America.
Well, I can only assume that they're going to trot out the camel for everything 9/11, only because they're really pushing the camel. Maybe Camel's team is pushing Camel, but she's been all over the newspapers and a lot of articles about her. She's looking tough, and they're trying to make her look smart in all the pictures. It's funny. It looks very funny, very out of character. There was a hilarious clip of her this weekend floating around, getting her boogie down at some barbecue somewhere, embracing the African culture here in America. She looked kind of funny, you know, because you're in DC. When you're part of the swamp, you just cannot assimilate with the rest of us normal people. You look out of place no matter what. The second you are in the swamp, you are not somebody I can actually have a beer with, ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, man, you got to listen to Tim Dillon has Robert Kennedy and his wife Cheryl on.
Really? Did I just segue into your clip somehow?
You did really well.
All right. And after that, we got it. I have one on 9/11 that I want.
Oh, let's do 9/11.
No,
yeah.
let's.
You actually segued into it like 4 times. That I was like, all right.
I'm ready. I'm ready to drop a little Tim Dillon. I only just wanted to throw the refresher today at some point before we go.
No, let's do the 9/11.
Are you sure? It's an old clip. It's from the Corbett Report. If anyone has checked that out, a classic fella in the conspiracy world. I just wanted to. I love this recap. It's a quickie. It's, again, like I said, it's an oldie. It's a goodie. It's a classic. But it is, in my opinion, one of the best ways. If I needed to just shake someone, out of their spell for 5 seconds, 90 seconds, and be like, "Don't you remember?" This is it.
September 11th, 2001, 19 men armed with box cutters, directed by a man on dialysis in a cave fortress halfway around the world, using a satellite phone and a laptop, directed the most sophisticated penetration of the most heavily defended airspace in the world, overpowering the passengers and the military combat-trained pilots on 4 commercial aircraft before flying those planes wildly off course for over an hour without being molested by a single fighter interceptor. These 19 hijackers, devout religious fundamentalists who like to drink alcohol, snort cocaine, and live with pink-haired strippers, managed to knock down 3 buildings with 2 planes in New York. While in Washington, a pilot who couldn't handle a single-engine Cessna was able to fly a 757 in an 8,000-foot descending 270-degree corkscrew turn to come exactly level with the ground, hitting the Pentagon in the budget analyst office where DoD staffers were working on the mystery of the $2.3 trillion that Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld had announced missing from the Pentagon's coffers in a press conference the day before, on September 10th, 2001. Luckily, the news anchors knew who did it within minutes.
Osama bin Laden.
The pundits knew within hours.
Osama bin Laden.
The administration knew within the day.
Terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbored them.
And the evidence literally fell into the FBI's lap.
That a hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site.
But for some reason, a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists demanded an investigation into the greatest attack on American soil in history. That investigation was delayed, underfunded, set up to fail, a conflict of interest, and a cover-up from start to finish. It was based on testimony extracted through torture, the records of which were destroyed. It failed to mention the existence of WTC-7, Able Danger, P-TECH, Sibel Edmonds, OBL and the CIA, and the drills of hijacked aircraft.
Able Danger was the simulated live-action replica of 9/11 occurring, and when 9/11 was unfolding, they were over the intercoms asking, is this the simulation or is this reality? Because they were doing the exact same simulation at the exact same time. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy.
Being flown into buildings that were being simulated at the precise same time that those events were actually happening. It was lied to by the Pentagon, the CIA, the Bush administration, and as for Bush and Cheney, well, no one knows what they told it because they testified in secret, off the record, not under oath, and behind closed doors. It didn't bother to look at who funded the attacks because that question is ultimately of little practical significance. Still, the 9/11 Commission did brilliantly answering all of the questions the public had, except most of the victims' family members' questions, and pinned blame on all the people responsible, although no one so much as lost their job, determining the attacks were
failure of imagination.
Because
nobody in our government, at least, and I don't think the prior government that could envision flying airplanes into buildings.
Yeah, but except our government did envision flying planes into buildings. It was Operation Northwoods, if I'm not mistaken. You could maybe look that up on your magic machine over there. But there was a plan during Kennedy's time in office where they wanted to use airliners flown into buildings to convince the American public it was kosher to go to war with Cuba. And so we have had these plans. We have always thought about doing it. And like I said, there was an operation in place, a simulation where they were, going through the motions of 9/11 and what occurred. Craziest part about all of it, Mike, Building 7, right? Come on.
Yeah, that's the weirdest one.
Building 7.
That's the most unexplained. You're just supposed to forget about it.
So we've done some deep dives, plenty of them on Building 7 and 9/11. I'm totally sold on Inside Job. I even go down the road of I believe those planes were holographic on some level, and what we witnessed were just bombings of the buildings. Our government just went full-on war with our country. Mike, I know you're of the more practical interpretation of 9/11 and the events that unfolded, but, what a date to remember, man. Probably something that'll be burned in our memories for our lifetime.
Yeah. It's a shame that everybody forgot because you really weren't supposed to,
You're supposed to never forget. That's the way
it really, what's really scary is when you talk to younger people and because they learn about it in school. Like tomorrow, everybody's gonna learn about it in school,
That's right. Yeah, they're gonna learn about how there's got to be something racist and LGBTQ spun about it. I can only imagine, right? They got to introduce that in some element to the curriculum, but
no, it's no joke. They do talk about how a lot of guys will tell you that is when they kind of use it as a springboard into the conversation of Islamophobia.
Oh, that's right.
Islamophobic movement.
Yeah, that's crazy. What a weird moment in time and not a wake-up call to the average people, the average folk out there that Our government is up to some nefarious stuff. I mean, right after these attacks, we didn't necessarily go after the Taliban. We decided that we have to find out the originating place of this yellow cake uranium. And then we got weapons of mass destruction. We're going to go into Iraq. That's right, Iraq. We're going to invade Iraq. We're going to take out Saddam Hussein because of 9/11, right? See? It
I know that was.
never made any sense at all. At all. But that was like how it was connected. They're like, well.
Yeah, but the way Rumsfeld said it was,
So Rumsfeld said one of the great. Is that where he did there are the known knowns, there are the unknown knowns, and then there are the unknown unknowns? That's what.
Isn't that what it was?
I think so, yeah. And, we're going after the weapons of mass destruction. You want to go down the rabbit hole of the weapons of mass destruction. A lot of theories out there, and the reason this creeps up a lot is because when they had the WikiLeaks leak of all the emails between Podesta and Clinton and all that stuff, one of the interesting little tidbits to float around in the Clinton email exchanges were about her extreme interest in the alleged finding of the body of Gilgamesh and like the supposed like ring portal that he had or whatever, like to other dimensions. I'm not kidding. This is in the WikiLeaks emails between Clinton and some other individuals, and allegedly the entire, taking over of Iraq, when they were talking about weapons of mass destruction, they were really talking about the fact that Saddam Hussein had discovered the Tomb of Gilgamesh and his like interdimensional portal device, and they had.
That's why they weren't saying nuclear.
And they had
far greater than a nuclear bomb.
Weapon of mass destruction, and they had to go in there and take out Saddam and capture the device before Saddam could utilize the powers of this.
That was a marketing error. They should have said weapon of universal destruction.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
Damn, I never heard that.
The destruction of the space-time continuum. We would have all understood that. Come on, man.
With a biblical weapon? Isn't that like...
This is supposed to... I thought Gilgamesh, this is like Sumerian mythology. Like, this is some of the oldest mythological...
What is this tool you're talking about?
It was the Stargate. It was Gilgamesh's Stargate, essentially. I'm not kidding you. And there's these theories out there that is what Hussein discovered, and then that's why 9/11 happens. We're kind of doing the Taliban dance in Afghanistan, but that was really more about owning the opium fields, right? So we could kickstart the opium epidemic here in America. But the Iraq invasion didn't make a lot of sense, other than we were there to extract something, and we went in, took out the leader, extracted the device and the Tomb of Gilgamesh, and now we're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or what we extracted was poppy fields, oil, cheap oil.
I don't think we extracted anything, actually. What I think we did was establish a base the size of Houston, Texas, and we're there forever. In the Middle East.
Yeah.
And this all had to do with Poppy Bush, George H.W. and, George Bush and their whole, ownership of the oil fields. And, there was a lot of oil going on, a lot of purchasing and, killing for some oil. You got to imagine.
Yeah, but it was cheap.
We were living large. I was talking to Emma the other day about the Hummer craze. Everyone had the H1 and then the H3 and then
wanted to be like Jordan.
Dude, you couldn't do you remember how many Hummers used to be on the road? It was kind of insane, dude. There was a lot of Hummers. And those things they barely fit in the parking spaces. They're
so stupid.
Cartoonishly, ridiculously huge.
Stupid.
And you would have these tiny, soccer moms just crawling in and out of these things, dude. But there was gas was $1.20 back then. It was incredible.
it's like nowadays you see all these pickup trucks that are so big, and they're like $100,000 trucks. There's no way you're actually, I don't know.
You can't afford that, and this is why we got to get out of Ukraine. This is not a profitable war for us, and we got to get back into invading some sort of Middle Eastern country. We got to go back there. That's the moral of the story here, man.
Yeah, we definitely need to go back to some more profitable wars. I don't know what's going on here. You guys aren't using the military like you should.
Well, that's why we got to get rid of Biden and move in the camel, right? Maybe she's got that war hawk mentality, right?
Dude. No, they're going to get rid of her.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe. We do have the camel in the wing, potentially an RFK in the wing. I know RFK's been making the rounds these days. He's quite the podcast president. You know what I'm saying? He might be the first podcast president.
Well, no, he said that's his strategy.
To be the podcast president?
Not just podcast, but to go, that's how you're going to get the younger vote,
Yeah, it's a good call. And he's kind of, if he's going to be the podcast president, he's going to be stepping into the Vivek Rama Shwama Shwarma Rama Dama Ding Dong territory there.
Yeah, Vivek, stay home. Nah, actually, just kidding. He's all right.
Rama Shwarma? He sounds delicious. I can't get over it. His name is just fantastically delicious sounding. So you caught a little RFK, if I'm not mistaken, on the old Tim Dillon podcast.
Yeah,
is that correct?
It's a great episode. Everybody should go listen to it. This is why the Democrats are scared of RFK.
They're blocking him out. He's actually being excluded from even being allowed on the ballot. And if he steps,
did you see that?
If he steps into New Hampshire, he could be stripped of his ability to even run in the general election.
In 3 states, yeah, that's dude. These Democrat states are literally passing laws. Remember when all you heard was Donald Trump was ending American democracy?
Right.
I mean, the left has literally, and all they said, if Donald Trump wins, American democracy will be over. He's going to use the DOJ to persecute his political enemies. It's like, dude, you guys are doing everything you were afraid this man was doing. But it's okay because it's going to keep this man from doing the things you're doing.
It's all projection! These Democrats, dude, they just project exactly what they say they're going to do or what the other side is doing, but that's what they're going to do.
Man, I got to tell you, we talked about it here all the time. Something flipped between these parties, right?
Yes,
Me and you haven't dramatically shifted our views on the world or our ideological beliefs. These parties have wildly shifted.
Yes, and that was one of the only parts where Bill Maher and Joe Rogan agreed, was that something dramatically happened with these political establishments where it's almost like this massive group of people are being pushed to the middle together in some weird way. Like we're all being grossed out by both sides.
And you've heard all the excuses for why in the world, right?
Oh yeah.
Both sides have their different views of why this is happening. Right?
That's right,
man. RFK just busted out a fact I have not heard. It's this guy I have not heard. And I think he really is the first person to explain why we feel that way. Why we look at our parents now and we're like, how have you guys not switched parties? Do you guys not see what's going on? This is a beautiful clip.
The job they want. The Democratic Party had always styled itself as kind of the defender of working people and the defender of economic justice. What happened?
Now I saw this data the other day, and I haven't traced it down to verify it. But what I read the other day was that 70% of the wealth in this country is now controlled by Democrats, versus 30% by independents and Republicans, and at the top, 9 of the 10 top richest counties are now Democrat counties. So it used to be, this is flip-flop from where it was when I was a kid, where the Republicans were the rich, were the oligarchs, and the Democrats for working poor, working people.
Right.
And so it has flipped, and you're asking me why. I don't know exactly. No, I watched it happen. But let me just finish the.
Yeah, this is interesting. Democratic counties represent 70% of U.S. GDP.
Yeah.
2020 election shows. So that's the 2020 elections, chaotic and marked by races too close to call, have nonetheless reaffirmed that, at least in Washington, the two parties now speak for markedly different segments of the U.S. economy.
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting,
yeah.
Right? Because when you and I were growing up, the Democrats represented the poor in the middle
class. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that explains it.
That the income or the wealth has flipped?
Yes. So right now, if you look at who votes Democrat, the people who voted for Joe Biden, those people own 70% of the wealth in this country.
Wow.
And that was half the country. Then the other half, we're the poor suckers. We only own 30%. And we're you know what I mean?
That's
and
right.
We're voting for Republicans. It completely switched. Now, the only reason the Democrats are still winning is because they're living off of just their, what do you call it? Like their reputation. They have this reputation still amongst the boomers that, the working class, that's the Democrats. Right?
That's right, man. Yeah, Jimmy Carter, right? He's got the denim shirt on. He's rolling up the sleeves. He's building the houses.
And dude, really, all the Republicans need to do is just, get those people, show them, these Democrats aren't for you anymore. Something happened where the Democratic Party got taken over by the pharmaceutical industrial complex and by Hollywood. So, I mean, it's like all the richest people in this country are the ones telling you, how to live and what to do, and that is the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and everybody just feels grossed out listening to these people, man. They're grossed out.
It's Silicon Valley.
Yeah, and they're all crazy. Weirdly pedophiles. And
all of them,
they're
but
all
not
gay.
Really.
All of them are gay.
But no, not really. It's unbelievable if you look at the statistics.
Right. Yeah.
There's saying... if you look at I think they said it's if you look at CEO or executives of these companies who have the highest ESG scores, right? So these are the companies they're the ones that are hiring the Dylan Mulvaney's. They're the ones that are out there, they're the ones protesting for the drag queens reading to the kids, right?
Right, yes.
But it's 98% of them are married with kids. They live in a suburban neighborhood and they send their kids to private schools. So it's, they're not living what they're preaching.
That's right, yeah. But they got that sign on their lawn with the, in this house... We are inclusive of everything and believe of all the colors and, do the gender dance and we got the spectrum, the whole thing.
It's funny, dude? I haven't seen a single sign this year.
I haven't seen a sign of anything this year. That's been blowing my mind, man.
Because the signs also said nobody is illegal. I think they're changing their opinion on that.
Right. Well, I also think, dude, they went so hard on the race stuff, and people maybe started to realize a little bit as they shut off the TVs and turned off the Jimmys on the late night and no longer have the SNL cramming the crap down their face, probably desubscribed or unsubscribed from Disney Plus because they jacked up the price to $30 a month to, preach BLT sandwich content. Maybe people are a little refreshed right now and they're kind of, thinking maybe I don't need to promote these wild ideologies on my front lawn anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being divisive by doing that.
For sure you are.
Maybe I should be more inclusive and not preach my ideologies on the face of my home.
On your front lawn.
On my lawn. Maybe I'm being kind of a dick by just telling people what I think politically before they even meet me. And this goes to both sides. The idiots with the Trump flags and, you know what I'm saying? How about everybody just hang up an American flag? And if you're from another country, you know what? Go ahead, fella. Hang up that flag, too. Be proud of where you're from. That's fine. But also hang the American flag up.
Yeah, hang the American flag. You came here for a reason, buddy.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, let's do
You
that.
came here for a reason.
Let's get the signs off, the lawns, and who cares who you vote for? I don't care, and you shouldn't care. Let's get it off the lawns. Let's be inclusive for once and hang the American flag. We can all just be on the same freaking team for once.
We can't. We're being divided by the corporations, by the Democrats, man. I'm telling you.
It's a good call about the signs, though. I haven't seen any of those ridiculous, stupid inclusivity signs. I haven't. The long gone are the days of the BLM fist bump signs that they had everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You remember those things, dude? Long gone. And I'm happy for it because, again, it's just, if you're gonna put that stuff up on your property, you're immediately establishing a side, and that's the worst place to.
And you're an idiot. You're not helping anybody. I used to love it because I'd come to my white neighborhood where I live, and half the people got this stupid sign out saying how much they love black people and the diverse community and this and that, and it's like. And then I go work in the black neighborhood. I don't see any of the people from my neighborhood coming to this neighborhood.
Good call. Well, I tell you what, we are T-minus what? How many months away from the Biden and or Trump signs on the lawns? Last time around, nary a Biden sign to see in any neighborhood. I'm hard-pressed to find those 81 million voters of his, especially here in a very Democratic place. But they're there, allegedly. Either way, I have not seen many ads going on. I've seen a lot of Trump ads, but I, really can't say that I've seen any proof whatsoever that Joe Biden is actually running for president at this point.
Oh, dude, he's running.
Have you come across any
So I came across his
ad
on a podcast.
Okay, so this was not a real life, like I'm sitting at home, I'm watching the game, and oh, look at that, Joe Biden 2024 ad. Wow.
No, this is an ad that's about to air. It's about to start going out in contested areas.
Okay, so this is for a purple zone, a purple state, a place where they think maybe they have a chance.
This is great. The ad is spectacular. And then I have the response to the ad from the Pod Save America crew.
You're psycho, man. I was listening to some Pod Save boys the other night, actually. I can't say I was able to make it through the entire episode, but...
That was tough.
Yeah. They just make fun of Trump the whole time.
That's it. And then everything, they'll mention Biden. They'll be like, the right is talking about Biden taking money from Ukraine. What about Trump? He got indicted on 91 counts. All right, I know. We know about the 91 counts. Move on.
That right there just summed up Pod Save America right now. They're talking about Trump, and then they're like, yeah, but 91. Come on, 91 counts.
Joe Biden fell going up the stairs again. But Trump, how could you vote for somebody that's 91 counts indicted in 4 different cases? Oh my God, he had raped that woman.
He's the kingpin of a RICO investigation.
Yeah, dude. So we got it's a little long because you got the ad and then the reaction to the ad.
I love it. I'm a huge fan.
This is one of the best clips, maybe clip of the year.
So the Biden campaign obviously understands this challenge. And they're releasing a very interesting ad in the swing states. I think it's going up this weekend in swing states. That is ostensibly about his trip to Ukraine, but I think is about addressing the age issue. Let's listen.
It was the first time in modern history.
Very significant moment on the world stage.
That an American president went into a war zone not controlled by the United States.
A nearly 40-hour journey in and out of Ukraine.
President Biden left Washington, D.C. at 4 a.m. on Sunday. He landed in eastern Poland and then took a 9.5-hour train to Kyiv.
He entered Ukraine under the cover of night. And in the morning, Joe Biden walked shoulder to shoulder with our allies in the war-torn streets. That's the quiet strength of a true leader who doesn't back down to a dictator.
You host a wildly successful YouTube show called Political Experts React about ads. So please react.
It's a great ad. It's for the reason you said, which is it. And I think this gets to the strategy behind addressing Biden's age, which is you have to show, not tell, and show him being active and engaged. Because if you really think about it, and this is partially a result of the way the media has changed over the last few years. It's partially a result of the way Joe Biden has conducted the presidency. But people who are not deeply engaged with political news never see Joe Biden. They never see him speak. They never see an event. They're not watching the places where Joe Biden is covered. And Donald Trump, because he's a lunatic, and this is not to his benefit most of the time, and Barack Obama, because of sort of the cultural figure he was in a very different media environment, is that people were always seeing Barack Obama and Donald Trump. So if you don't see Joe Biden, and all you ever hear is that Joe Biden's really old, and maybe you see some edited clips from the RNC or some cherry-picked footage that maybe is circulating on social media, and you know he's 80 years old, you're going to think he's too old. But if you have a point of comparison with what the guy's actually doing, you can have a more nuanced take on the age issue. And I think this ad tries to get at that.
So first of all, I love it because the whole Biden team is like, we need an example of him being vigorous and youthful, and we're gonna do an ad about that to counter the age argument. And the best they could come up with is he sat on a plane for 8 hours, then sat on a train for 6 hours, then he took a stroll down the street, and he survived. What are you talking about?
It's not impressive, man. 80-year-olds always wake up at like 3 a.m. and that's what they do. Stroll around aimlessly in a dark neighborhood.
You literally just described my grandpa's last vacation itinerary. You know?
What I love about this is their explanation how, like, well, nobody ever sees Joe Biden because they lock him in a basement all the time, or we see him boarding a plane on the short steps to go to his vacation home in Delaware, or wherever the hell he's at.
I had to cut it because it's too long, but like 3 more minutes of this, and then they go back to Trump, and they go, why are they not talking about Trump's age? And you know why, Frank? Because he's indicted in 4 cases. He's got 91 felonies. They don't have time to talk about his age.
He's a RICO kingpin, man. Come on.
Maybe if he wasn't indicted so many times, we'd have time to talk about his age. Let's get through the criminal cases, and then we could talk about his age. Maybe Joe Biden should commit a crime, and then we wouldn't talk about his age. Dude, you guys are idiots.
In the same week that I read that article of Joe Biden, having to take the short steps into the Air Force One now, for
the presidential version of the short bus.
It was the same week that they indicted Trump, or he got arrested, right? And he's coming back from the courthouse, and do you remember he's leaving the courthouse, and what does he do? He storms past the limos and everything, right to the press, and he's just yelling. He's not even mic'd. He's just yelling and storming his way to the press, pointing his finger, just screaming his head off, like red face. Like, man, when did we ever get that out of Joe Biden? Ever once, man. Just some energy, some life.
Frank, he rode in a plane and then a train and then took a stroll down a road with Zelensky. That's the quiet strength.
The last time we saw Joe Biden in any sort of genuine motion, he fell over the bike. You remember that? It was like a year ago, dude. That's the last time we saw the guy moving any significant distance. He toppled over on the bike and almost killed a reporter.
The most embarrassing thing of the whole situation was the helmet he was wearing. Jesus Christ.
It was almost white boot Ron DeSantis.
Almost white boot. Dude, he almost looked French. Jesus Christ.
It's just, I can't, for me, my favorite part about Trump, I know everybody just is so, they just can't stand Trump, I know, but like, the best part of his presidency was he would just come out of that helicopter, storm towards the bay of the reporters, and just start screaming at them, answering questions. He was just so fired up, man. So, and I loved that. That was entertaining. It was fun, and it kind of sent a message to the world, like, this guy means business, man. He could be a clown. He could be a puppet. He very much probably is. But either way, he's showing you that there's a little bit of life and energy and fight behind that puppet. With Joe Biden, dude, this guy is, I don't even know if it's a mask, how many dolls they have, if it's one of those Chuck E. Cheese robotic things that come wheeling out, and it's just, there's a lot of question marks with Joe Biden. So for these idiots at Pod Save America to even, hint at the fact that, he's a vigorous young man that's, storming around and making decisions. Nobody believes that.
He went to the war zone. He's the only president to go to a war zone that wasn't controlled by America.
Yeah. All right, sure. Yeah. All right. Nobody believes you. Sorry. Not sorry. You guys are liars.
You guys are doing these, tactics that would have worked 50 years ago before the internet.
Right.
But, now I could just look up, did Joe Biden go to a war zone? Oh, it looks like he went to Kyiv, and it wasn't even, people were having coffee at the cafe at the time.
Have you seen some of the viral images coming out of places like Kyiv and other areas of Ukraine? It's like people hanging out at the pool, having a good time and partying. It looks like an MTV movie shoot.
I have never seen a more blatant whack the dog than the Ukrainian war, where it's like, you watch CNN, MSNBC, they are showing the same building that got blown up, right? And it's like, and then you go look online and Twitter, the people are partying in that same street.
It's so weird, dude. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to bring this up with the dude in the cave. If you watch the video, I don't even know if this guy really exists or if any of that story is real.
Are you really in a cave?
That could just be totally faked and CGI and acted, and who's really gonna research it and look into the background of these individuals? That could have just been a massive distraction. Did any new news come out about Hunter Biden? It's the only thing I can really imagine.
We'll know if Trump gets indicted tomorrow.
Yes, that's right, and I think I predicted this on the Thursday episode. It's possible some sort of Hunter news got swept under the rug on Friday, and we will know only for sure if on Monday Trump is indicted. And I should have clipped it, they are trying to indict him here in Colorado.
For what?
I can't remember, but they're gunning to get him kicked off the ballot.
I saw that. There's a lawsuit right now, which is incredible. Talk about a total overthrow of American democracy.
To just have a guy kicked off the ballot like that?
And then they're like, well, he got indicted. So now, let's say Republicans win the next election. Maybe it's not Trump. Ron DeSantis wins. So now he could just go and indict every fucking Democrat, and then we could say, kick him off the ballot because they got indicted. Even if it was just a political witch hunt, it's an indictment. Kick him off. Well,
speaking of the pod boys over there at Save America, they were discussing the Hunter Biden thing briefly, and they were laughing and poo-pooing it, talking about how they don't get what the whole point would be to indict Hunter Biden, the son of the president. They just couldn't fathom how that would have any impact on anything, or no. What they would be proving by indicting the son of the president. What does it even mean? Right?
You gotta hear them talking about the impeachment of Joe Biden versus the impeachment of Trump.
It's coming.
They cannot believe Republicans would even waste the time looking into
the resources. I heard them commenting on why would you waste those resources? Man, we wasted so many resources on those two impeachments that everybody likes to forget about.
Yeah, but that was a man who was trying to overthrow democracy.
Oh man, it takes a lot of time to do that. And speaking of time, we've hit that point. Unreal. This is the fastest hour in the universe. There's no doubt about it. Still so much more to talk about. Can't wait to get to it in the next hour. We gotta do the American Psycho himself, Gavin Newsom. It will be
I can't wait.
Juicy. Smoothly.
Well, you don't have a lot of time for this one because I did another up-and-comer from the VMAs. This is another one of the 6 best new artist that you can vote for.
And is this one of those 90-second songs?
Her song, I'm like looking all around. Everything I found over 2 minutes was just 20 seconds of bullshit at the beginning. And then this is like this is legit her longest song, and it is 1:51. So.
Dude, you know what's funny is we've gone back. So, in the time of the Beatles' first album, like Love Me Do and Hold Your Hand, the songs are like 90 seconds. They're like a minute.
No,
51.
dude, they were hitting 2:30. Those songs are 2:30, 2:50, like 2:40.
Love Me Do is like a minute and like 57 seconds. I swear.
No, dude, they always broke 2 minutes. You're trying to sell me this 1:52 bullshit. This isn't even a whole song, bitch. Finish the fucking song, and you're one of the best up-and-comers?
And the song is probably $1.29 on iTunes, right? I guarantee they're going for the full price. So it'll cost you the same amount for a 7-minute rendition of...
$2.25, Love Me Do. I told you, bro. They made it worth your dollar. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this bitch puts out an 8-track fucking album. You're hitting 15 minutes.
All right, let's hit it. Since we got the time, let's do it. I gotta pack this bowl.
Hurry up.